Hello friends, this is Ashley from Darling Cottage Life, and we're going to be making this little scrappy bookmark from old fabric, and I hope you enjoy it. I have been going through my scraps. I have a whole lot of them. My day job has been very busy the last few months, and I just really wanted to have a quiet weekend where I got to create, and part of that is I've been really burnt out with sewing on and off the last couple of months, and I am trying to challenge myself to do both use up a lot of my fabric scraps, because I'm a person who cannot throw out almost any scraps ever. So and I keep even the smallest pieces, especially if they are fabric pieces that I really loved. Like this was from a scrap bundle that I bought from somebody else, and I just loved it so much, and I didn't want to get rid of any of these pieces. This is scrap that I was making little stamps out of, fabric stamps out of, and it still has the little iron-on stuff on the back, and so I wanted to use that. This silly thing, my bed sheets came in this little box, or this little bag of the same colors, and I love the sheets so much, but also it's a perfectly good fabric bag, and I didn't want to just throw it away, so I saved it. And so anyway, to kind of get back in my creative groove flow thing, decided to challenge myself a little bit, and I've also been doing a lot of art journaling and junk journaling, not on my channel obviously, but in my personal time I've shared a little bit of it on Instagram, but I mostly have just been keeping to myself a little bit, and I felt like creating today, so that's what we're gonna do. These two papers, my sister for my birthday gave me some really beautiful scrapbooking paper, and I have been kind of scared to use it because I want to use it for that exact right thing, but you never find that exact right thing, you know, and I don't want it to go to waste. And she also gave me this. She found it in some of her old school things, and it's just a page that I made for a school project back in, I think probably second grade. And I mean, obviously I loved scrapbooking and journaling and making cute paper things. I did that a lot growing up. I was fortunate. I wasn't a refugee or anything. I didn't have, I've had plenty of things when I was growing up, and plenty of support financially. But I had parents and grandparents who really loved to make things, and so that kind of got passed down to me, I think, because I love making things, and they mean so much more to me. And so anyway, today I was inspired by the January Junk Journal Challenge, which you can find on Instagram, and I think it's on Facebook too. But primary thing to know is every day you have your own prompt, and today was tags and tickets. And so with these little scraps, I figured to combine my two favorite mediums into some fabric and paper, because that paper is pretty sturdy, so it'll stand up well with fabric. Some paper and fabric tags and tickets. So I'm gonna do a dark one and a light one color palette wise, because I feel like that's kind of how my personality goes. I like a balance. I am a Libra. I like balancing things, and if you have to have your light, you have to have your dark. That's how my house looks too. Anyway, so I'm going to work on this a little bit and quit chatting in your ear, and hopefully you find this inspiring and enjoyable. If you are not participating in the challenge, I encourage you to. It's super fun, and let's get started. this that I'm using is just a regular school glue. This is just a regular school glue, and it's not gonna adhere the fabric very well. Oops. It is just gonna help hold it in place because I'm actually going to sew that fabric to the paper. This is just to give a little bit of extra stability. I want this to be very kind of shabby, and I really like that look. Just that imperfectly perfect is kind of my aesthetic for the year. And probably also for my channel. Nothing is ever measured out properly. Nothing is ever, even when I try, it doesn't work out. So you know what, I'm just gonna accept that about myself and embrace it. And these edges look just a little bit, I don't know, overmade. So I'm going to vintage them a little bit with some ink. If you have your life together and actually use journaling supplies, like real journaling supplies, good for you. I don't have my life together in that way, and I'm also pretty new to, always collected like stationery crafts and that kind of stuff. I've always collected, I've always loved paper, always loved fabrics, but I don't have a whole lot of that like official gear. I'm more of a person who hoards a cardboard box that one of my makeups came in because I think it's just really pretty and I can't bear to throw the art away. So I cut those things up and I use them in my journaling. I mean, I also buy plenty of pretty pages and stickers and things like that. But when it comes to tools like this is a regular kitchen sponge that I found under my sink and cut up, and it works just fine. So as you can see, it just makes the edges look like they weren't quite, maybe they weren't torn by me. Maybe they were torn a long time ago, and I don't know, I just like the dimension and depth it has. So I'm gonna start sewing with my little sewing machine around here. I know I do a lot of hand sewing with this channel, but sewing through the paper, it's nice to have it look more even, and it also takes less time. So I'll start here and just go all the way around and then leave your threads hanging so that you can tie them down. Okay, so this is sewn. I used a cream color thread because honestly it was what was in there and I didn't want to change it. However, it looks lighter than I want it to, so I'm also gonna kind of try to vintage that just a little bit with this ink, since that background is already kind of black. It'll hide the brown ink, and it's kind of drying anyway because I didn't redip it. It's just whatever was left from doing the edges of the paper, because it's just it looks a little too new. I want this to look kind of old and vintagey. So here we go. And as I use this, I'll probably use this as a bookmark or like a mark in my journal. And the more I use it, the more those edges will fray and they'll look really pretty. So you have these, and you can use a little pointy tool or a needle. I have black thread. I have all kinds of colored thread. I could have changed it, but I think people go through days all the time where, especially if you have certain kind of jobs, or maybe you're a stay-at-home mom with a lot of kids and you're just really tired all the time of having to make decisions and having to do things because you're supposed to. And I think taking a little break from that is good for your brain. Do the thing just because you want to, not because you have to. So I kind of like this one snail. I think I'll leave just that one. So see, and it has that backing on it already. This is basically like a fabric sticker. You put double-sided like Wonder Under or something underneath it, and you leave the fabric on it and the paper on one side, and that way all you have to do is peel and stick and then use it as use a little heat on it, and it'll be fine. Kind of want those edges a little more frayed though. Love these little Heidi books to keep my journal supplies in, my paper supplies. They're so pretty. I'm an aesthetic person, aesthetic trash in that way. I have to have pretty things because it is inspiring and makes me happy. There are enough things in the world to make us not happy, so enjoy things when you can. See, like even when I get sent stuff from other artists that I buy from, and they send it in pretty packaging, I can't bear to throw it out because then I can just make all kinds of pretty stuff with it. Go with that. See this came from a lotion box I really liked, but it has that gold leaf foil on it, and it's so pretty. And this came from a tea that I really liked, and I might make a little journal or something out of that. A little like ribbon or something coming out of here, and that will require a little grommet there, so I want to make sure that I have space to do that because I don't want to have to hammer through this on top of the fabric and the paper already. So I think I like that. So I'll go ahead and glue this part. I'm not really sure if this is acetone based. Acetone is better. Been obsessed with treasure books videos lately. I love her videos, they're so happy. And she said that the acetone based helps with the paper not warping and it dries faster. I know a lot of fabric glues are acetone based, so I'm gonna wing it and hope that is the case here. We shall see how it turns out. So that it has a little bit extra security, and then also adding some hand threading will make it more pretty, more aesthetic. And since I did use this acetone glue, it's flammable, so I am not going to iron this piece, even though I could iron it. I'm gonna change my mind on that because that would not be safe. So we'll just glue that. And I'll also sew over this as well. But if you're trying to put like a fabric stamp on a needle book that is all fabric, absolutely use the double-sided iron-on adhesive. The Wonder Under is a name brand that I've used and I like, but there are other brands as well. Okay, so it does look like this glue is warping a little bit. I'm gonna have to find some. I'm going to craft store tomorrow, hopefully, if I'm feeling all right. So I'll look for some of that. And this I recently got in a little subscription box that I really liked because I like making a lot of papery things and fabric things, but when it comes to stickers, I'm not that talented yet. So ooh, I like that. She looks crafty. I can relate. So we have this pretty little lady. I like her. It looks like she's got some kind of mathematical things in her hand. She's working with this figure over here. Maybe it's Hypatia in, well, obviously some sort of steampunk universe, but if you have not seen the movie Agora, it's super good. Hypatia is a pretty incredible figure in our history. Sticker here. All right, all that glue is gluing. Before I do any extra hand stitching, I think I'm gonna embellish this side just a little bit as well. This is also kind of a craft paper that I got from, I can't really remember. Oh, one of the wonderful journaling sites I follow. I think this was Cora Korea, I want to say. One of the bundles that she did. And again, I'm just gonna glue this. I also like using double-sided tape for my actual journals, but because I'm going to be handling this a lot, it's not just like on a page I'm going to be flipping. I want it to have a little extra strength. And keep in mind that any extra hand stitching or other stitching you do on this side is going to show up on this side, and I'm trying to keep that in mind. Now, as you saw from another one of my sticker collections, as you saw from my little childhood making stuff, I really was into outer space. I was one of those kids who wanted to be an astronaut, and so I want to have some sort of little nod to that, because that's kind of what inspired me to do these. I like that. I think that might work with that green, kind of green foil there. We'll see. Something else I love about just scrapping and journaling, and you have a lot of pretty things around, and you get inspired by the moment. There is no thinking about the project over and over again, trying to think how it's going to come out perfectly. I think that's been a large part of my problem in getting very creatively stuck lately. It's just been perfectionism, which I know a lot of you can probably relate to, and this has been a really good exercise in forgetting that and learning to just create the thing because it makes you happy. So I think, I don't know, let's check one more sticker. A lot of smaller stickers in here. I know I have space stickers somewhere, moon stickers. Y'all, I love this thing so much. So much. I went on a trip for my birthday and with a few friends for also kind of like for a little bachelorette weekend for a friend of mine for her wedding in October. We went to Salem, and I got a little clutch too, like a little zipper clutch, was in one of the local shops, and if I can remember the creator, I'll put her shop link below and the link of the store I bought it at, because they have, like, she makes so many things, and the store I got it at was to die for. I wanted to take the whole store home with me, but I settled on just a few things. I really feel like I had more moon stickers. That's okay, I can always add it later. like I'm still missing a little focal point on this one, like right in the middle. So I think I'm going to all these cute little toadstool postage. Ooh, I like this one. Toadstool postage stamps, I think, would look best. I want to say it'll look the best. I like little strawberries, little fairy berries, little strawberries. Maybe that one. Oh, right there one. That one's cute. Ooh, that one is super nice and vintage. Okay, I think we found it. I promise I don't talk to myself when I'm actually making this, but absolutely have running dialogue in my head of, yes, girl, that's perfect. Yeah. So now this glue is pretty much almost dry. I'm going to do some little sewing embellishment around here and put a grommet through here so that I can have some little lace or washi tape or something coming out here. And I have an idea for what I want here. We shall see if that works. Okay, so this little tin I made a few years ago, and I love it. It's so beat up. It's so worn out. I need to make a new one because this is very like pastel-y, and it is pretty, but I would like to make it a little bit more me. So, but it's so convenient because I have this little bird that I made and some scrap of paper and the tiniest scissors you've ever seen. One of my little button. What are these? And then I'll think of it and I'll put it in text on the screen because I really have no. This is actually an antique, and I looked it up and it's actually worth some money. It's got the Basilica de Fatima, the Portuguese, the Portuguese cathedral on it, and it's got gold on the inside. It says silver, but it's my perfect size. Like, these traditionally thimbles are sized, and I found it at a thrift store for like $6, and it's the most perfect thimble I've ever used because I have really thin fingers, and this is kind of on the longer side. It's narrow, and it is not like the cheap ones that you get in modern sewing kits, and I love it forever. So anyway, we need a needle. Also a pin cushion I made. Let's see, we need, I'm trying to think of the kind of thread color I'd like on this. As you can see, my workspace is getting pretty overrun a little bit. I feel like us creators, we don't always show that side of it. And this little thing, if that bothers you, you can cover it up. I will be covering it up because it bothers me. But when sewing and hand sewing on paper like this, there are ways to avoid it, but I did not have that forethought today because I just wanted to sew. Ooh. Yeah, some stickers, they don't like being sewn through. I might have to take this off until I'm done. Okay, so as you can see, I've finished sewing all the way around, and I peeled that sticker back. So it covered up quite a few of the stitches, but that's okay. And then you can see some of the stitches here. Make a knot here. Now, if you like the shabbiness of those knots and threads showing, good for you. I am not that chill. So I think the last thing that I wanted to do, I mean, are you really ever finished with scrappy projects like this? Like, I'll look at it in 2 days and be like, oh, I can add this here, and I already know that's gonna happen. But before I add the grommet and everything is the last thing, I do want to add something down here, and it's also going to take care of that. So let's focus on fixing it. Hi. Did you know that you needed a reindeer wax burner? Because I saw it and decided I couldn't live without it. So this is my first time using it. Very excited. Waste not, want not. It's the same little matchstick I used earlier. And also from Korea, or no, I think this was Paper World. I got some black sealing wax, which I'm super excited about. I haven't used before. Oops. Isn't that pretty? And it's matte. So it's gonna mix in with the little bit of red that was already there. And I think it'll look really beautiful on our project. This is my favorite wax seal stamp. It has an intake sewing machine on it. You'll be able to see it once it's finished. So we're definitely using that one today. I realize my crafts are all over the place, but sewing's still my first love. And I will, warn you, anybody who's going to use a wax burner, especially that involves fire, please be careful. Have water close by, and only use if you're over 18. Also, I like having this little stone. It's just a natural stone I got in my yard, but it's a surface that I can set the hot spoon on. Now that I have this, I don't have to worry about that too much, but before I bought this, I needed something to set the hot spoon on so it could cool off. It was kind of a mess. It's just about there. Sealing wax is more flexible and stronger than like regular candle wax, so if you're going to invest in anything within the whole journaling community or letter writing community, I do recommend that, because other wax I've tried and it just doesn't work right. It doesn't work the same way. And so we're also going to do a little bit up here. And we don't have to stamp it down. I kind of like just this shiny bubble. Check that it's right side up. finished babies. Here's this little one. I just used a pressed flower there, and then the sealing wax kept it in place. And these were some little fabric scraps. I added a sticker to cover up some of the uglier sewing. So if you want a tutorial on how to do this one in particular, let me know. Same kind of methods I used in this one. It was just less involved, and I used a dried flower instead of cedar. So anyway, see y'all next week, and I really hope y'all enjoyed it. Subscribe to see more stuff like this. Bye.